Hello everyone. Welcome to Introduction to SQL session. In this session, we'll try to understand what is even the need of SQL. What exactly is SQL? SQL stands for Structured Query Language. So what is SQL and what is the need of it? Imagine that you have ordered a product on Amazon or Flipkart or any of the e-commerce website. You have ordered one product. You will get an invoice for that product. Imagine this is the invoice that a typical order contains on an e-commerce website. Let's say here I have purchased a product, US Polo Association, and then printed men round neck t-shirt. It can be any product. So I have purchased this product, okay? Or somebody has purchased this product, okay? This is our typical invoice would look like for that particular order. Now, what does it contain? It contains the seller data. Who is selling this product? Luminary Lifestyles Private Limited. This is the seller information. In fact, in Flipkart or Amazon, in any of the e-commerce websites, there will be thousands and thousands of sellers. Out of them, we are buying from one particular seller. So it contains seller information. And this order also contains the customer information, the buyer. We are the buyers. What is the customer address? So where we should bill this, where we should ship this, where we should deliver it. So the customer data also it contains. And it contains order data. What order? What is the order that we gave? What are you ordering? We are ordering a t-shirt or a refrigerator or a cricket bat. What are you ordering? Is it a mobile phone? Is it a TV? This is the order information. Remember, there will be millions and millions of products, thousands and thousands of products that will be sold. And this is one particular product related information that is mentioned on this invoice. Product data, order data. What is order data? How many products? What is the quantity? Are you buying one t-shirt? Are you buying 5 t-shirts? Product data is what exactly is the product name? What is the size of the t-shirt? What is the color of the t-shirt, etc. And payment information also. What is the amount that you have to pay? Is there any discount? Is there any charges? Discount is 75 rupees and then there are extra GST charges and this is the payment. Okay. That is the information. Payment data is also there. So one order that you have placed, it contains product related data. And remember, there are thousands and thousands of products that are available on e-commerce websites. It contains customer related data. There will be millions and millions of customers. Payment related data. There are multiple ways of payment that you can make. You can pay using UPI, you can pay GPay, you can pay phone pay, you can pay using credit card or debit card. There will be thousands of sellers. There will be delivery related data, where exactly we have to deliver, which state, which city, all that information. Do you think all this information, thousands of sellers data, thousands of customers data, thousands of payment related details, sellers data, all this data, do you think one Excel file, a simple table like this, do you think you can store all that data within one file? Tell me, is that possible? Is it possible to store this whole information in a single file? One file, can it contain all the columns? Is it meaningful? Is it the right way to arrange your data? No, you cannot keep everything in a single file. This is a huge system. You cannot keep it in one Excel or one CSV file. To maintain a data of this size, you need a database. So what is a database? A database is an organized collection of data. The database is an organized collection of data. A database contains tables, queries, schema. Schema means data structure. Which variable is of numerical values, which variable is of string values, like that. It contains some virtual tables, etc. Basically, a database contains multiple tables. As of now, you can think a database contains a lot of tables inside that. A single database can contain multiple tables and multiple queries. We are going to see what exactly is a query. As of now, what I'm trying to tell you is a database is a collection of multiple tables which are connected to each other. These tables are connected to each other. Maybe one table will contain product related data. The other table will contain all the sellers related information. The other table will contain all the customer related information. The other table will contain all the order related information, delivery related information, payments related information is another table. So a typical e-commerce website contains a database which has these tables. In fact, this is exactly one of the real data set. There is one Brazilian e-commerce data set available on Kaggle. And this is one of the data set for that is provided by one real e-commerce company. And this is how their database looks like. You have orders table that is connected by an order ID. List is the e-commerce company name. Okay. And you have products data set. You have the order items data set. Within one order, there can be multiple items. You have the sellers data set. You have the geographical delivery related data set. You have the customer related data set. You have a database with multiple tables. Another example is, here is another example. You have customers, orders, a similar orders product related database. If you take a bank database, there will be one table which will contain all the officers related data. One table will contain all the branch related data, which branch, where is it, which city the branch is in, what is the name of the branch. Officer related data will be what is the first name of the officer, what is the last name of the officer, what is the officer ID and all that. Account transaction related data, product type related data, credit card or loan account or savings bank account, something like that. Employee related data within each branch, how many employees are there, what is the start date, what is the end date, what is the first name, last name, what is the employee ID and all that. Okay. Account related data, department related data, customers, obviously bank will have customers, customer related data. If within customers there are two types, one is individual customers, other one is business type customers. Even banks have corporate accounts, they will be handling. So this is one database that is used in a bank. If you go to employee database, if you go to some company, how are they maintaining the employee records? Employee department related information is stored inside one table. Employees personal information, profile related information is stored in one table. Employee salary information is stored in some other table. Employee titles are stored in some other table. So a database is a collection of tables which are connected to each other. In fact, this is known as relational database, because these tables are related to each other, they are connected to each other. This is known as RDB, relational database. Imagine you have a database. Now, how do you interact with this database? How do you manage this database? Let us suppose in this database, you want to add more tables to a database. How do you do that? You want to modify the database. How do you edit and update the data? How do you interact? How do you even create a database? There must be a way to do that. For all these operations, you need SQL. SQL stands for Structured Query Language. Structured Query Language. In general, it is known as SQL. What is SQL used for? What is SQL? SQL stands for Structured Query Language. SQL is used for creating, accessing, exploring, cleaning, analyzing the data. RDB, relational database that you have. If you want to create it, if you want to access some of the data, if you want to explore the data, if you want to clean the data, if you want to modify the data, you can use SQL. SQL is very, very easy to learn. Hardly there will be 40 or 50 commands, max to max. If you have mastered those 50 commands, you are very good at SQL. I'm not exaggerating. It is really true. SQL, within 40 or 50 commands, you can really master SQL. So try to pay a lot of attention. Within 1 week, you can be very comfortable with SQL. You yourself will see that. There are very few commands in the whole language. That's the beauty of SQL. And very intuitive code. It almost feels like you're talking in English language. SQL is a language that's very, very easy to learn. Within SQL, there are a couple of main components. There are actually 4 main components. Within them, there are 2 broad types of functions. There are 2 main components that are very, very useful for us even when we join a job later on. These are the 2 types of commands that we will be using. Within SQL, there are 2 broad functions. One is data definition language. It is known as DDL, data definition language. This is the set of commands that is used for creating a database, creating tables, accessing writes, manage authentication, etc. Basically, to create the data set, we use data definition language, DDL, data definition language, create the databases. The second type of commands is DML, data manipulation language. Once you create the data, if you want to access some of the data, if you want to insert some more data, you want to query. What do you mean by query? Asking some question. A query means a question. You want to ask some questions to the data. You want to ask from this particular city, how many orders have been placed? You want to ask this particular customer, what is his order amount? How many products this particular customer has purchased? That's a question or a query. You can query the data once you create it. You can analyze the data. DDL, data definition language, DML, data manipulation language. DDL is like one-time job, you create the data. DML is like whenever you want to analyze the data, you require this data manipulation language. We'll be focusing very heavily on these 2 components of SQL language. SQL. Now, how do you work with SQL? Is there any software? Do you have any software that can help us to create or work with SQL, create databases? Is there any software that can help us to create and store these databases? Where do you write the SQL queries? Where? Is it in Word? Is it in Notepad? Where do you write them? How do you interact with your database? Where is this database getting stored? To manage all this, you need a DBMS. That stands for Database Management System. Database Management System, or RDBMS. What does RDBMS stands for? RDBMS. R stands for Relational Database Management System, or in simple words, DBMS, Database Management System. What is a database management system? It's a software to interact with the database, a software designed for definition, creation, querying, updating, and administration of the databases. It is a software that is designed for definition, define the data, create the data, query the data. Database is created in DBMS. If you want to create a database, you require DBMS, a software. It's a software that will help you to work with SQL. Maybe if you are creating a database using one database management system, one software, it may not be always compatible with some other DBMS. There are multiple softwares. Let us suppose if you want to work with tabular data, you can use Excel, you can use Google Sheets, or you can use some other mediums as well, like some ODS software or something. But all the formulas may not be same. All of them will look same, but there are certain differences. The same thing goes even with DBMS, database management systems as well. There can be different softwares. We're going to see that. If this is unclear, it's perfectly fine. We're going to see what exactly is that. What are these DBMS, database management systems? I'm going to give you a few examples of that. We can use SQL language in all DBMS, all types of database management systems. We can use SQL language. So let us see what exactly is this DBMS or RDBMS. What does RDBMS mean? Relational Database Management System. Sometimes you see people using the term DBMS. Most of the times you will hear this term RDBMS, stands for Relational Database Management System, because our data is mostly based on relational model. What is relational model? One table is connected to other table. Definitely these tables are interconnected. Tables will have some identifier. Let's say this is a customer who placed an order for this product. If you want to know the details of that particular product, what is the product name, what is the product title, what is the product description, what is the price of the product, then you can take something called primary key. We are going to see what is that, and then access all the information. So what is this RDBMS? What are the softwares for this? These details we are going to get into these, what is primary key and all that in the upcoming sessions. Here are the some of the famous RDBMS softwares. This is just an introduction that I'm giving you. I'm giving you an introduction to what is DBMS, what is SQL. The exact details are coming up. What are some of the famous RDBMS softwares that are available in the market? There are some enterprise products, there are some open source products. Enterprise products means you have to pay the licensing fee. Open source means you can download and you can use them. Oracle SQL, IBM SQL, MS SQL, Microsoft SQL, Sysbase, Informix, Teradata. These are all the enterprise-based RDBMS softwares, database management systems. MySQL, PostgreSQL, Apache Derby, Berkeley, Ingress, Engine-based. These are all the open source ones. Out of these, MySQL is very famous. We are going to work with MySQL. So all of you in your system, now you have to install MySQL. Installation of MySQL is very easy. What you need to do is you have to go to this dev.mysql.com, download that, select the product, click next, 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 next. And then almost, if you follow these steps, you will automatically install MySQL. However, I will separately make a different video that will capture exact installation process and each and every step. You can take a reference from that video as well. Otherwise also, it's a very easy process. You yourself will find it very easy to install. The installation is not very difficult. Okay, you can give it a try. If that doesn't work, you can watch the other video that I'm going to post on installation. If that is also not working, maybe if there are any changes, if you are doing it much later point of time, then you can watch some of the YouTube videos. It will be very easy, I can tell you that. Okay. Then once you install MySQL, then you will see if everything works fine. Then what you will find is you will have this MySQL workbench. This is known as MySQL workbench. This is a place where you actually write the code. What exactly is this workbench? MySQL workbench is a visual database design tool, or in simple words, it's an IDE. This is a place where you write the code. Okay. So if you want to write any of the SQL code, here is a place. If you want to write any DDL commands, DDL, data definition language, if you want to create any databases, any tables, you can write them here. Okay. If you want to write DML commands, if you want to manipulate the data, if you want to query the data, you can write them here. This is a place where you will be writing, you will be getting the output if there is any, you will be getting the errors if there are any. So this is known as MySQL workbench. In future, you will be spending a lot of time in the MySQL workbench. Okay. There are multiple ways of doing this. You can interact with SQL using a command line interface, CLI command line interface also. But if you're not comfortable with that, you can use this. Usually, most of the people use this MySQL workbench. This is one of the best user interface that is available. Okay. So that concludes our basic introduction to what is SQL, what is a database, what is the need of it. And then we have also discussed installation of MySQL workbench. That particular installation steps, if you are facing any issues, you can watch the video on installation. Once you have installed MySQL, then only we can proceed, because once your SQL is ready, then we can get started with the actual some of the DML commands and DDL commands that's coming up. As of now, I would like you to go back and download that MySQL, download this and install it from here. Okay. Are there any questions? Thank you.